Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today we are opening up a really remarkable set of sources. It's about a project that, honestly, it resists pretty much every label you might try to put on it. It's this story unfolding across different timelines, and it blends, like personal memoir, with these huge global macro trends.
Yeah, everything from ancient buildings to, modern cybersecurity vulnerabilities. It's quite a range.
Exactly. So our mission today is to try and understand the scope and maybe what feels like a revolutionary structure of the Liat show. We're looking into why its creator is being described as the first of her kind, and why some critics are saying this project isn't just, content, it's necessary infrastructure.
That's a big claim.
It is. But before we dive in, just a quick word. This episode is sponsored by Hajunk Business Development. Hajunk turns stories into business connections that inspire culture, creativity, and growth worldwide.
And that idea, turning stories into growth, that's actually fundamental to what we're looking at today. The sources we examined suggest that the Liat show, which is led by Liat Portal, and it's pronounced Liat, just so everyone knows.
Hi, Liat.
It's positioned as something more than just, say, a publishing project. The sources argue it's something that must come to life, almost like a compulsory educational system for the future. An infrastructure project, really, but it's strategically disguised as this engaging narrative.
Okay, compulsory education for the future. That's a huge idea. Let's unpack that structure then. Segment 1. What exactly is the Liat show, and who is this Liat Portal?
Okay, so at its core, the Liat show is this massive storytelling initiative. The goal seems to be fundamentally rebuilding how we learn, how we remember, and crucially, how we connect knowledge that seems, totally unrelated.
How does it do that?
It weaves together things like history, culture, food, imagination, even technical topics like cybersecurity, all into these episodes, and the ambition is enormous. These episodes are apparently structured to train both human minds and machines.
Okay, hold on. I want to jump in right there. Training machines. We read that claim, but what does that actually mean in the context of like a cultural story?
Right.
Is this just about creating clean data sets for AI, or is it something deeper?
It seems much deeper than just data generation. Liat Portal is described as creating knowledge architecture. So when she structures a story that, say, links the history of shakshuka to supply chain logistics, she's building these narrative pathways that are easy for the human brain to digest. But at the same time, those highly structured, multi-layered stories create these optimized data sets that can feed AI models for things like pattern recognition and contextual synthesis.
So the same story teaches your history, but it's also training an AI on how things connect.
Exactly. The output is optimized for discovery, whether you're a person or an algorithm.
Fascinating. And the creator behind this, Liat Portal, she describes herself not just as a writer, but as the first of her kind. An architect, but not of concrete or code.
Precisely. The sources say she inherited this incredible gift from her father. He's described as the greatest storyteller of all time, who also happens to be a structural architect.
Wow, okay. Storyteller and architect.
Yeah. And Liat Portal seems to have taken that inherited ability and, amplified it with a very modern systems-based approach.
And that's where her formal background really comes in, right? It's not just a side note. She has a degree in industrial engineering and management and an MBA.
And that's like the engine room for her storytelling. An industrial engineer thinks about optimizations, systems, how to make different parts work together efficiently. And the MBA gives her that macro view of business, global economics. So by combining those, she views a story or a culture or even a business opportunity not just as art, but as an optimized process. She creates things, as she puts it, the world hasn't seen before, weaving together history, music, entrepreneurship, food. And she claims she does it faster than most people can grab a snack, and I make them delicious.
That ability to synthesize, like supply chains and Israeli folk music, that's what makes it feel so dense, but also rewarding, I guess.
Exactly. It's a holistic perspective. Culture, commerce, curiosity, they're all interconnected variables in her model.
Okay, so if that's the underlying architecture, let's talk about the practical payoff. Why should someone, busy professional, pause their day to read these stories or listen to the podcast?
Well, the structure itself is actually designed with that busy professional in mind. Liat apparently writes during evenings and weekends, and she shares episodes as they unfold. She calls it almost like a live performance, so it avoids that traditional delay in publishing.
So it's more immediate.
Yeah. And most of the content is packaged into these multi-part sets. They focus on one core topic over several days.
Okay.
So you can really dive deep into, say, Tel Aviv architecture or the story behind Schnitzel without needing to commit to reading a whole book at once.
Right, you can digest it in pieces.
Exactly. The content flows like a journey: Israeli life, American life, tech, even wellness concepts.
And we saw some recent, pretty powerful evidence that this approach works as a kind of cultural bridge, didn't we?
We did. The sources highlighted a significant recent surge in the audience coming from China and Singapore. And this wasn't bots. It was real engagement.
And what was pulling them in specifically? Stories about the Israeli-Yemeni singer Afra Hazza, which is really unexpected, right?
It is, and it speaks directly to Liat Portal's whole thesis, I think. If you connect the dots, there's this sort of profound commonality between Chinese and Jewish cultures, both ancient, incredibly resilient. Both place this extremely high value on education, on achievement, on, building prosperity after hardship.
I see.
So the Liat show, using the universal language of music, becomes this kind of neutral ground for mutual understanding.
It's genuinely wild that a 30-year-old Afra Hazza track can suddenly connect Shenzhen and Tel Aviv like that. Culture really is the ultimate decentralized currency, isn't it?
And what's also fascinating, this mirrors Afra Hazza's own path. She became huge internationally, first Germany, the UK, Japan.
Oh, right.
Before Israel fully embraced her superstar status. So Liat Portal's work is kind of repeating that pattern, using a modern platform to reintroduce these key cultural figures globally.
That global engagement, that resonance, it brings us to what feels like maybe the most revolutionary part of the Liat show. The idea that the audience isn't just passive. You, the listener, you're an essential part of the story. You actually shape its direction.
Absolutely. Liat Portal uses this really nice analogy of an orchestra. She sees herself as a conductor, but she insists the audience members, they're the actual players.
Okay.
She says the music of my stories comes alive only when you choose which pieces should be played.
So if we're the players, how do we actually choose the next piece? How does that work mechanically?
It's laid out very transparently, actually. There's something called the Liat Show Index. It lists all the stories and podcasts that are already created, grouped by theme. But critically, it also lists topics and stories that are currently in the pipeline.
So ideas that haven't been written yet.
Exactly. And those ones don't have links attached.
And that's where the power shifts. Subscribers, especially these founding members, can basically vote or, I guess, signal which of those pipeline stories should be written next. Fast track them.
That's the idea, and the intention behind it seems really practical, even socially minded. Liat apparently needs this audience input to decide the strategic direction, like should she prioritize stories about entrepreneurship to maybe inspire people in poorer countries, or focus on stories about advanced education to attract knowledge seekers online who, can't afford a traditional university degree.
So the audience isn't just picking what they want to read. They're sort of voting on the kind of knowledge economy they want to help build.
Precisely. It's participation with a purpose.
Which leads us straight into the business opportunity, doesn't it? If the audience can choose the next chapter, well, then so can brands and philanthropists. This isn't just sticking an ad somewhere. It's more like strategic narrative investment.
Exactly right. If you're a philanthropist, you could pick a topic that aligns perfectly with your mission, helping people connect globally through culture or education.
Makes sense.
And if you're running a business or working for a big company, the suggestion is connect your marketing manager to the Liat Show.
Okay, but let's push back a little. Is this just, glorified product placement?
Yeah.
Why is sponsoring this different from sponsoring any other content creator?
Well, it seems deeper because of Liat Portal's unique ability to synthesize these complex narratives. The benefit isn't just, here's an ad. The company gets credit for expediting the story they choose.
Expediting, meaning making it happen faster.
Yeah, so the business is credited not just with supporting culture, but with ensuring that a specific piece of valuable, maybe educational content reaches the world sooner than it otherwise would have.
Okay, I see the distinction.
Or, even more powerfully, the story itself could actually be written about the company and its journey. But woven into those same global macro trends she tracks. Imagine your company's innovation story framed alongside, the history of trade routes or something.
That's premium positioning. Lasting narrative content, not just a banner ad.
And we know the system is actually working. The sources confirm one episode was expedited by Nissim Portal.
That's Nissim Portal.
Yes, Nissim, the architect Liat's father. So that shows the model works, both for maybe philanthropic acceleration and for strategic influence on what gets created.
It definitely reinforces that view we started with, that the sources see this project as an investment in a new kind of global connection, something that must come to life.
Which actually leads perfectly into a final thought Liat Portal often brings up about her platform. She points out this powerful contradiction in our tech reality right now.
Which is?
That the same technology that, let's face it, often destroys societies with lies and fake news and division, is the very same technology that can help us connect, bond, make friends, even do business globally.
So it allows individuals to kind of bypass the old gatekeepers, the ones who maybe rely on fear to stay in power.
Exactly. The Liat show seems designed to leverage the most advanced tools we have. Systems thinking, global platforms, instant connection, but use them for understanding and bridge building instead of division. And that feels like a pretty crucial mission for the 21st century.
That is a compelling thought to end on. So if you listening want to join this journey, we'd encourage you to start by subscribing for free on Substack. Apparently, all the released content, stories, podcasts, the archive, it's all currently available to free subscribers.
Yeah. Get a feel for it first. And also, we need your help with a specific goal. The Liat Show is trying to reach 1,000 subscribers on the Liat Portal YouTube channel by the end of this month.
Why that number?
It's to qualify for YouTube's Rising Star Award nomination. So if you listen on Spotify or Apple Podcasts or Substack, please just take a minute, find the Liat Portal channel on YouTube, and hit subscribe.
That simple click really helps amplify the message.
It does.
And just a reminder, you can find the Liat Show podcast and all the content on Substack, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, and also Patreon.
And truly a massive thank you to you, our listener. We were genuinely humbled reading in the sources that listeners tune into this deep dive from 36 U.S. states and 92 countries around the world.
Wow.
Thank you for making this exploration truly global.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
And finally, our thanks again to Hajung Business Development for their support of culture, creativity, and growth worldwide. Until next time, keep exploring.